Congressman Peter Welch met with local dairy farmers today to face the facts. The dairy industry is in disarray. Susie Steimel brings us to the breakfast table where dairy farmers voice their concerns, hoping someone in Washington will hear them.
From farm to table, from Vermont to Washington, D.C., local farmers had coffee with their congressman Friday morning, hoping the conversation will help their bottom lines.
We've got a real responsibility to do something that makes it possible for our local farmers to sustain themselves.
The numbers are staggering. In 1950, Vermont had 50,000 dairy farms. Today, there are less than 1,000. We saw one close this Wednesday.
I think the goal here is to keep the farmers we have in business and keep them going.
But the question is how? Vermont's congressional delegation is pushing for the Dairy Security Act to be attached to the Farm Bill.
We've had these wild swings where the price goes up, but then it plunges, and those swings have become more rapid and the plunge is deeper.
The act is an effort to decrease the dramatic swings by getting the milk industry to work together nationwide.
We're hoping that we've found a vehicle to be able to unite us as an industry, and that's something that's been difficult to do over the last few years.
No growth in that.
It gives the financial incentive to farmers who stop producing when there is a collapse like the one in 2009. If farmers overproduce when demand is down, it affects everyone's prices negatively. Milk prices in 2009 hit a record low of $13 per 100 pounds of milk. After climbing slightly in 2011, the forecast threatens to drop below $18 this year. For Conan's farm, it costs roughly $19 to produce that much milk. So right now, the farm isn't breaking even.
We don't want to be always recognized as the struggling dairy farmer, if you will.
Young farmers say the stigma of the struggling industry might be doing more harm than the inconsistent market prices.
I could think if I was a kid, I wouldn't be very excited about entering into a struggling industry.
Conan's son Ransom is the 6th generation to grow up on this picturesque property. He's hoping to pass it on to his kids someday, and that the dairy industry's bottom line doesn't force him to be the end of his family's. Susie Steimel, Channel 3 News, Richmond.
Congress has until October to pass the Farm Bill. Welch says there is growing support in his committee from other dairy producers.